Am I the asshole for throwing out my husband's dinner after he went to eat at his mom's house? My mother-in-law calls every night to ask what we're having for dinner. Then she brags about what she's cooking to make me look bad, especially if we're getting takeout. I used to care but not anymore. But my husband would ask me to make dinner only for him to go eat the dinner his mom makes at her home, which is 10 minutes away, and using the "that's my favorite meal" excuse. Yesterday, I wanted to surprise him by cooking one of his favorite meals, and although I was busy, I took time off work to cook. I even went grocery shopping to get what I needed. Later, as I was setting the table, his mom called. I told him he didn't have to answer, but he did. Like usual. She asked what we were having but acted surprised that I cooked this meal. She then went on to tell him she cooked X meal and told him to come over. He said okay, which shocked me. I said, seriously, as he started dressing up getting ready to leave. He told me no offense, but this meal, that his mom cooked, was even more of a favorite than the one I cooked. And grabbed his keys and left. I felt awful. I took his plate and threw it out, then ate my portion. As I was about to put the plate in the dishwasher, he got home looking angry, saying his mom lied about cooking that favorite meal, and used it as an excuse to force him to eat dinner with her. I was shocked, but he sat down telling me to go ahead and reheat dinner. I told him no dinner after he abandoned it. I threw it out. He said what? And I told him he disrespected my time and effort and chose to go eat with his mom instead. He began yelling at me, asking if I really did that, then called me petty and horrible, then went upstairs saying what I did was 100 times worse than what his mom did. I definitely feel like I let my anger and frustration get the best of me, but it really felt unbearable having to live like this for so long. By the way, I'm 26 and he's 28. ETA to make one thing clear, and that's the fact that my husband only does this when it comes to food. He lived with his mom, attended community college, and loved and still loves her food and is used to it. She gave me recipes to make and I try to do that, but he keeps switching homes just to eat what he feels like. Not the asshole. Why in world is he telling you to go heat dinner? Did a T-Rex attack him and eat his arms on the way back from his mom's? Did he try to catch a piano falling from the sky so it didn't land on a child playing and all his fingers are broke? Did he anger a forest fairy and she cursed him and now he has 2 sets of legs instead of hands? Or is that him waving a huge red flag? Not the asshole. Your husband can either commit to eating at home with you, tell you well before dinner that he's eating with his mom, or he can make his own meals. Until he starts regularly making a choice to be home or go with enough time for you to plan and prep your cooking, cook enough for only you, he's on his own. ETA. I wasn't going to say it because I feel it's obvious, but I can't help myself. This is much larger of an issue than dinner time. There's a profound lack of respect in your relationship. Husband needs to snip the apron strings at the very least, but really needs to spend some serious time thinking about what a marriage and partnership actually means. Not the asshole. You didn't make him lick the empty plate, did you? I say you were restrained. My mill was an award-winning Southern chef. My husband is a chef. My son is a chef. I cook well, but I'm not a chef. Not one of them has ever disrespected my cooking. Not the asshole. Stop cooking for him. Not the asshole. Why are you married to a mama's boy who is okay with disrespecting the hard work you put into your relationship? Not the asshole, but it seems that you are the third person in this relationship. It almost seems like your husband values his relationship with his mother over you, and she constantly uses food to reinforce the same. Why are you in this marriage still? Not the asshole. Sounds like you might need these subreddits. RJUSTNOMIL. Just know so. Having a mill that calls at dinner time trying to entice him over is a serious overstep, and the fact that he goes, and doesn't say honey, how about we go eat over there is absolutely bonkers. Unfortunately, you are the third wheel in their relationship. NTA, but why are you still with someone who you have to compete with his mother over? Am I the asshole for not wanting to pay for my father's medical bills? My F29 parents divorced when I was about 10 years old, and I have had no contact with my father after a year because he made the choice to prioritize his new family, stepson, 33, and eventually his children with new wife over my brother, and I no visitation after he got remarried at all. When we called to ask when he was going to visit us, he would just say that he was busy. Before the divorce, I was literally daddy's little girl. His beloved golden child. No joke. I thought my father was the best and I wanted to marry a man like him when I grew up. So, the fact that he just dropped my brother and me off has caused a deep-seated wound deep in my heart which I will never ever forgive him for causing. He never paid child support, so my mother had to support my brother and I as a single parent. She decided not to take him to court as she never wanted anything to do with him again. Parents had 50-50 custody. However, 18 years is a long time, and thanks to my mother's love and care for us, I have already forgotten about him and moved on with my life. Same goes for my brother. We have both grown up to live comfortably in our lives, take care of our mother and love her to no end. The story is that this morning, his SS, 33, contacted me via Facebook and said he wanted to talk to me regarding our father, and I was confused at first and then remembered that yes, I had someone like that in my life. He told me that our father has a medical condition and treatment costs a lot, sent together with screenshots of his medical reports, and it would be nice if we could pay his bills, and also that my father wanted to speak to my brother, and I told him that that man lost the rights to be my father when he decided to not have any contact with us, and also that his father's medical bills are none of my concern, so as his children. You shouldn't go around harassing random people for money. Also, all those years of unpaid child support could be used to cover his medical expenses. After which he called me a vengeful and heartless bitch, to which I just replied with a smiling emoji and blocked his ass. I talked to my mom about this, and she said while I have the right to be angry with him, he is still my father and is unwell, so I could help them out a bit. I told her, no way in hell am I going to pay for his bills. He has his children to pay for it, so let them settle it. He made his bed, now let him sleep on it. Was I the asshole here? Edit. Many people were confused about what SS was. In this case it is stepson. Apologies for the confusion. Nope. Not the asshole at all. I don't know who a SS is. Stepson? Regardless, your father out and out discarded you, and as far as you know, has never made any attempt to see you or talk to you in 18 years. Hell no. On a separate note, your mother is a bit of an asshole for not pursuing child support. It's not for her, it's for you and your brother. And she wants you to contribute? Nope. She wanted nothing to do with him. Wouldn't even let any of his money go to supporting your upbringing, so you can do the same. Not the asshole. Your mother needs to stay out of this. She made the decision to not go after him for child support, which was wrong. That was not her money she was forfeiting, it was your money. Your father bailed out of your life a long time ago. There is no way in hell I would talk to the SS or anybody else about this. You are not an ATM. Not the asshole. The man is aw. He chose to drop you and not to support you in any way. If they tried to sue you, you have all the unpaid child support to prove he was not up to his responsibilities as a parent, and thus you owe him nothing. Your mother was asshole for not taking him to court and thus robbing you of the child support he owed you. If she wants to keep helping him, she can pitch in. That man is not your father. Not the asshole. I think your math regarding the unpaid child support is spot on. Use that to pay for whatever he needs. Your mom sounds too nice. Not the asshole. And #X200B. I told him that man lost the rights to be my father when he decided to not have any contact with us, and also that his father's medical bills are none of my concern, so as his children. You shouldn't go around harassing random people for money. Also, all those years of unpaid child support could be used to cover his medical expenses. Magnificent. Well done. And #X200B. And #X200B. He is still my father and is unwell, so I could help them out a bit. Your mom is an aw. Tell her she can give as much money as she wants, but he won't get a cent from you. She already cheated you out of a decent chunk of money for college when she decided not to have your dad pay for you what he owed you. Not the asshole. Not at all. He wrote himself out of your life 19 years ago. He doesn't get to write himself back in just because he needs money. Not the asshole. In 18 years, he finally gets in touch to ask for money? Seriously? Forget that. Forget him. Not the asshole, and I am sorry your mom even attempted to suggest she agrees with them. He ditched you. Gave no support to his ex-wife and you kids. And now wants to be in your life? The bare bottom minimum would be to meet him one last time for his own peace of mind if he is on death's door. But that has to be something you are willing to do. But financially, he should get nothing. His new family can take care of him. P.S. What does SS mean here? Am I the asshole for my reasons of no +1s on my wedding, causing several people not to attend? I'm getting married, and like every other bride, I too have certain rules I want for my wedding to go smoothly. One of them is the no +1s rule. Only people named in the invitation are invited. The criteria I have for people who will get to bring their partners are: 1. Both me and my fiancé know of your partner and have met them. If I know your partner and my fiancé doesn't, that disqualifies them and vice versa. 2. If I'd personally go to dinner with you and your partner. 3. If I'd invite your partner as a separate person anyway and not just because they're your partner. 4. If your partner is also a friend of mine. Those who meet that criteria get to bring their partners. If they don't, then they don't bring them. Simple. That also excludes long-term relationships, engaged couple and married couples as well. We know it might seem harsh, but those are the rules we've decided to set so we can be more comfortable. It has nothing to do with budget or venue capacity. Purely our choice. Several people have denied the invitation to our wedding due to these rules. One of them is also my cousin. My cousin has been engaged to this girl for 1 year now and he was upset we didn't include her. The reason she was excluded was because my fiancé hasn't met her and she's not a person I'd personally be friends with either. I told my cousin how heartbroken I am that he will not come to the wedding due to this, and I expressed my distaste for the fact that he can't be away from his fiancée for few hours to honor me and my fiancé. Couples don't have to be together the whole time. Then he basically told me I'm being extremely disrespectful and a huge awe. I asked him to explain and he said word for word, "Let me get this clear. You want me to come to honor you to your wedding, honor your love story and all that, but you can't respect me enough to invite my fiancé? I can be without my fiancé for several hours. Heck, we even spend days apart in vacations with our own separate friend groups sometimes. What bothers me is not me being away from my fiancé for some hours, but the fact that you excluded her for those reasons." I told him those are the rules. Take it or leave it. He says he finds my rules extremely disrespectful, but since it's my wedding he has no say in it. I told him good, and to stop bullshitting me then and show his support and respect by attending. He said that while he respects my extremely exclusive and disrespectful rules, I am a fool to believe that he will care more about valuing my wedding over his fiancé. Am I the asshole? You are the asshole for guilt-tripping your cousin and anyone else you try to pull this shit with. Your wedding, your rules, but people are allowed to not attend for not liking your rules. Suck it up. You are the asshole. You want people to come celebrate your marriage and your relationship by asking them to leave their spouse or long-term partner at home? You are misusing the word +1. That is intended for truly single people. Established couples are to be treated as a unit. Sure, your wedding and your rules and all that bullshit, but if you create bullshit rules like this you have to expect people to decline. If I had a relative tell me my spouse wasn't invited because circumstances hadn't allowed the two of them to meet yet, I'd decline, too. That also excludes long-term relationships, engaged couple and married couples as well. Expect the same respect for your new marriage as you've shown these other long-term relationships. You are the asshole. Take it or leave it is fine, but then you got mad when people left it and demanded they take it. You are the asshole for that. You are the asshole for insisting he come. Your rules don't matter, you get to invite, or not invite, whoever you want. But he has the option to decline the invitation. Well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions. I told him those are the rules. Take it or leave it. Lol, he's gonna leave it obviously, but that makes you mad because he's not letting you control him. You are the asshole. You are the asshole. What people will remember about your wedding is your rules. Family and friends will refer to you as a bridezilla. Oh, by the way, don't expect an invite to your cousin's wedding. You are the asshole. Weird rules to begin with if it's not about money. Why can't you accept his decision to not attend if you alienate him like that? Am I the asshole for taking a toddler to a coffee shop? Hi everyone, I feel like I need a general opinion check here. So for context, I, late 20s F, occasionally take my daughter, almost 1 yo, to a small coffee shop in the local mall. I'm a WFH mom, trying to run my company and to finish my postgraduate degree while raising my kid. While my husband spends all day at work, it gets a bit much sometimes. His workplace is one of those that demands a ton of team-building activities etc. So he's often away long after hours. Anyone who's been home alone with a baby will know how tired you get and how hard it is to keep them a good company when you're cooped up all day. So now that finally the plague has been clearing up in my area, we've decided to start going places a bit more. There's a local mall with an open-plan locally owned coffee shop. The place has 3 walls and is otherwise completely open into the mall lobby with a fountain, some of those coin slot kid attractions and such. I've decided to try it and have a coffee there a few months ago and found out my daughter loves it. She will look around sitting in her stroller while I drink my coffee in peace for once. The waitresses love her and know her by name and come to greet her. We leave a big tip to make up for any inconvenience we might cause. She recently started walking and loves to use any open space. I take her for a walk outside twice a day with the stroller and we stop and she walks around whenever. When the weather is bad or when I just want to, we go to the coffee shop and sit at the very edge of the seating area, basically completely in the lobby. We go when there's the fewest people, because I don't want to bother anyone. We never stay longer than 30 minutes. She sits in her stroller and when she wants to, I take her out and we walk around the lobby. When someone smiles at her and they initiate a conversation, we stop and she smiles and babbles a bit at them and then we go. I steer her clear of anyone with a laptop, headphones, book, studying, on a meeting, and if she ever gets cranky we're out of there immediately. Recently an old lady would sit down at the table next to us and stare. She'll whisper under her breath some things about, "Not in our time," and, "Floozies, last time when we were leaving I felt it appropriate to at least say, 'Goodbye, have a nice day.'" To the lady as we were saying so to the waiters and a nice gentleman who'd made funny faces at my kiddo. She looked at me like I spat at her and started mumbling something about, "horrible mother," and, "no decency." I'm not a confrontational type so I just ignored it, but it's been bothering me. I've talked to my friends. Most are child-free. And a few of them said I'm out of line bothering people with my child. And that people go there to have some peace and quiet. The ones who have kids are on my side. So hence why I'm asking here. So, am I the asshole for taking my toddler to a coffee shop? Not the asshole. Kids need socialization, and you need sanity. The dead giveaway here is, floozy. That's not an insult you pull out in response to being disturbed while having coffee. It's not completely clear what she's upset about, but she's imagined or made up something that only exists in her mind, and now she's upset about that. It doesn't appear to be connected to anything you've actually done at all. Ignore her, or just tell her to fuck off. She's unlikely to be able to handle that and will, with a bit of luck, actually fuck off. As a person who does not want kids ever and heavily dislikes strangers talking to me, I don't understand where your child-free friends are coming from. You don't sound like you're bothering anyone? In fact, it sounds like your kid is brightening people's days. Not the asshole. And the old lady chooses to sit at the next table? She should find somewhere further off if this disturbs her. As for floozy, that is hilarious. Dressed provocatively when you have a toddler? Who has the energy for that? I suspect your old lady mutters stuff at everyone. Try asking the servers about her. Not the asshole. You seem like a very aware mom. Good job. I'm guessing that if your child was in full tantrum mode you'd just leave. This doesn't sound like that. Ignore the bitter old lady. She's just miserable and probably complains about everything. Not the asshole. She sits in her stroller and when she wants to, I take her out and we walk around the lobby. When someone smiles at her and they initiate a conversation, we stop and she smiles and babbles a bit at them and then we go. It sounds like you have the situation well under control. I'm a parent as well and I don't think this crosses the line in any way. It's not as if your daughter is being obnoxious. She's minding her own business and interacting with people. Exactly as adults would. Sit around and chill, walk a bit, smile and wave. Not the asshole. I don't even like kids but you are so clearly not the asshole here. Nobody in their right mind goes to the mall for peace and quiet. If your child was the tantrum type or the running around like a lunatic type then the situation would be different, but you're clearly just minding your own business. You're allowed to use a public coffee shop with your child just as much as child-free folks do. Not the asshole. But I want you to start matching her volume and cadence and start mumbling back things like, "batty old witch," and, "senility," and shaking your head at her in disapproval. But I am a petty asshole and you seem thoughtful and considerate.